Yo guys, PhaseShifter here and welcome to another video. So I've just woken up and been blindsided by this absolutely fantastic and exciting patch. I know they referenced this in a recent dev live update, but this has come as a bit of a surprise in some ways. It just seems to be that they are listening to the community and responding very quickly, which bodes well for everybody involved. So without any further ado, let me get into it. I'm going to whiz through these notes, and I'm really interested actually to know what you all think of this. I personally think that some of these changes, if not most of these changes, are absolutely fantastic and really bode well for the longevity of the game. So let's have a look. This is patch 1.1.224, and it's called NG plus Vestiges, enemy density, crossplay, progression loss. So they're clearly looking at a lot of things here. I will just read through this. I'll slow my speech down a little bit as well. I know I probably sound quite excited. And let's see where we go. So, greetings lamp bearers. Thank you to everyone who attended last week's Q&A event and provided feedback, both during the stream and afterwards. We continue to be humbled by the countless encouraging words and constructive feedback that you have shared. In response to this, we have a few important announcements to make as part of today's patch note. So, community feedback, Vestiges in NG+. We hear you and have decided to roll out some fundamental changes to ensure everyone continues to enjoy NG+ experience, including both those who have relished the no vestige challenge, absolute maniacs, and those who would rather they were still present throughout the world. Just on that point, folks, sound off in the comments below. Are any of you doing the no vestige challenge? This is certainly something that I want to do on the channel. Let me know how that is. So, from today's patch onward now, when you complete an initial playthrough, you will be presented with a new option before embarking on your next run-through. You can either progress directly to the next consecutive NG, i.e. if you've just completed NG+1, you would move on to NG+2, or you can replay the current NG at the same difficulty, albeit retaining your character, items, and progression, but resetting the entire world, including NPCs and quest lines. This will allow trophy hunters and completionists to seek out any outstanding tasks without having to contend with increased difficulty should they choose so. Interesting. I like that. I guess that just kind of caters for everyone's sort of level of insanity, doesn't it? Some people might want to put it on themselves to say, oh, well, I missed something that time. Shame, I'm going to have to do it again, but it's going to be harder. There might be some people who just want to complete their Steam achievements or whatever platform you're playing on, and I think that's quite nice that they're giving both audiences an option for that. So I'm fully behind that change. I think it's great. A further patch is coming this Thursday, and we'll see further updates made to the NG+ mode. Instead of removing all vestiges, as it does currently, wow, NG+1 will only see a few disappear while keeping the key locations intact. In NG+2, a few more will disappear. And then in NG+3, all but the main hub, Skyrest Bridge, and Adir's Shrine vestige will disappear. This way, our initial vision remains intact, but is more of a gradual adaptation, awaiting those who seek increasing levels of difficulty. I love it. I think that's great. You can kind of see where they're going with this. They're making it a progressive difficulty curve as opposed to just slamming you in the face, for want of a better phrase. So that's awesome. Lastly, as a follow-up to the popular announcement made during last week's stream, we can confirm that we have started designing the NG+ modifier system. This is really exciting, allowing players to fully customize their NG+ experience, whether that's retaining all vestiges, keeping just a few, or removing them completely. It will also include other fun modifiers like a hardcore mode, so one death is permadeath, item randomizers, enemy randomizers, etc. This set is yet to be fully defined, but our current intention is to release the modifier system before the end of the year. This is absolutely awesome. This is the sort of thing that you usually expect from modding communities. And, you know, you watch people use these crazy seeds in randomizers and things like that, don't you? And they're actually going to include this in the game with hardcore mode on top. And when we look at the time scale, that isn't that far away. So again, let me know what you're thinking about this, guys. I'm really excited about the way they're taking this game. It's clear that they want people to keep playing, something which I think as gamers we completely lack at the moment. Games just seem to be over far too quickly, and this is really exciting. Today, as a means of helping with enemy density, we're improving our leashing system. Sorry, it's enemy density now, folks. So improving our leashing system, further limiting how far enemies will pursue a player from their spawn point. This helps prevent large crowds of enemies from relentlessly pursuing the player and when rushing through a level. We aim to have further refinements in Thursday's patch, including reducing the number of enemies present in areas where players most struggle. These enemies will be removed in your initial playthrough, but will remain in NG+, in keeping with the more challenging experience players are seeking. Additionally, we are going to tweak some crowd behaviors so enemies will not swarm players as often, multiple enemies will no longer land hits at the same time, while enemies will also be a little less aggressive when swarming the player in greater numbers. This one, I agree with it, but it seems a little bit unclear, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but sometimes it's quite nice to try and get a load of enemies to swarm you, when you think you've kind of tuned a build and you know that you can absolutely decimate screens of mobs. Isn't it quite nice sometimes to be able to kind of have that aggressive nature from a swarm of mobs chasing you? What do you think, folks? Let me know in the comments below. Crossplay, as we explained in the Q&A stream, we are targeting to deploy this as soon as possible for all platforms, but we want to ensure that certain GPU stability levels for PC players before this happens. We're pleased to confirm that we are activating crossplay on consoles this coming Monday, with a plan to activate it on all platforms this coming Thursday. I think the point about PC players and stability is absolutely paramount here. I know from speaking to my friends that are playing this game, some of them have been really unfortunate actually with how the game's been performing, and I know it's causing people a great deal of pain and angst. I have noticed in my comments quite a few people mentioning things about, patching exploits or patching XP farms and things like that, and people saying, can they please patch the graphics issues and the crashing issues first? So there's a lot of frustration out there, and I just really hope that they're listening to that side of things, because at the end of the day, folks, when you can't play a game that you've bought, you get very annoyed, and forget the features. We need everyone on this game playing it if we want it to survive. So I really hope the devs, whilst they're doing a great job, are really listening to this side of the community, because it's not good having a body of people in there that can't play the game. Leading us nicely on then into performance and stability. So here we go. Our constant efforts for improved GPU stability are paying off. There we go, good news. And we see that right now. The numbers have been reduced drastically from launch to less than 1/3 of what they were on day one, yet still affecting 4% of players per hour. We are diligently addressing the remaining 0.28%, that's very specific, of crashes stemming from game code, while also collaborating closely with Nvidia, AMD, and Epic to resolve any outstanding issues reported by players through Sentry. We have a number of key improvements rolling out between today and Thursday that will drive those numbers even lower. Interesting, so they are acknowledging it. I mean, to be honest, the easiest way to get a handle on this is seeing what you folks think about this. So again, I'll invite you to sound off in the comments below. Are you still having issues on this game? Is there anything that you think they could be doing better in that area? Because at the end of the day, folks, if we want this to work and be a mainstay game, and we need to give the devs as much information and feedback as possible. So sound off in the comments below and let me know what you think. Progression loss. Ooh, so I've not experienced this. I hope no one listening to this has as well, because that's always absolutely killer. For those who have lost level progression, either through corrupted saves or due to the co-op related issue in 1.1.215, please know we are working diligently on a solution for you. I had a problem like this with Remnant 2. And my save file got corrupted, or it just wouldn't load an area that I'd walked through a door in, and it literally wouldn't work. I was really fortunate that the game actually makes backups, otherwise I would have lost a character that I had a heap of progression on. Really, really glad they're acknowledging this. Those affected by corrupted save, please follow the following steps. I'm not going to read all this out because it is going to be something that you can go and have a look at, and I don't want this video to go on much further, but effectively you need to go to the patch notes on Steam, and it's right there for you, all the steps that you can follow through. So folks, that's the patch. I'm really excited about this. My sort of summary of it is that they are adding some absolutely fantastic features into Lords of the Fallen, and I cannot wait to kind of see where this randomizer idea goes with the hardcore mode. And I love the way that they're making the difficulty curve kind of a steady thing rather than just a sharp increase. I think that's really healthy for the game. I know some kind of Souls-like purists might say otherwise, but I think if we're trying to get a game to develop a community, we need to cater for all ability levels and all interest levels. And if we do it this way, then people are much more likely to stay if they can feel that nice linear progression of getting better at the game. All too often, I think people sort of NG plus a game and just bounce off it because the difficulty increases too quickly, or perhaps they haven't built the character as well because they're still learning the ropes. So there we go, folks. Absolutely awesome. Really excited with what Hexwork and CI Games are doing with this. Really fantastic ideas, and they are clearly listening to the community. So with that being said, thanks very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one, guys.